Yeah, I think it's working here. Kind of, sort of. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Checking the audio going out that may or may not actually be the way it's supposed to be. Kind of, sort of. You know, things change. You sit here and everything is good, and then everything is not good. What can I tell you? Well, we'll give it a shot. I think I remembered to have everything turned on and the proper links. I guess we will find out here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
What do we call it? The old tired tube radio network. I think that's what SWL number 1 used to call it. But we may be old, but we're not yet tired here at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. The Old Tube Radio Network at Channel 11, 27085 in the Central Valley of California, beaconing over the airwaves. Someone's reporting some conditions possibly on sidebands, so you never know. Maybe we'll get some far out, some of those funky far out check-ins tonight. And of course, streaming live at www.otr or oldtuberadio.net. We're streaming somewhere. And then on the YouTube video, which I think is up and running here. Yeah, something like that. So let me just say that the Old Tube Radio Network, coming up in 36 years on the air. My name is Dennis, Net Controller. I couldn't find the perfect tie tonight, so I'm wearing the microphonium or the headphonium cord as a tie tonight. We will start with the SWL roll call and those infamous glow-in-the-dark radios that were produced from about 1958 to about 1978 will parade across your Universal Media Net Web and radio and video screen, thanks to our net controllers and radio operators. And hopefully we'll grab a few tonight here if everybody is not out shopping for the Super Bowl. Back with the roll call in 1 second here. And the band actually sounds kind of quiet. Sounds like it's maybe it's just getting ready to pounce. Maybe that's what's happening. Hello to all those who are listening in Blackpool, Englewood, Colorado, the unknown SWL. Hello to Moncks Corner, South Carolina, Colorado Springs, Colorado, Fairfax, Virginia, Boulder Creek, California. Hello to Auberry, Woodward Park, Colorado, Canby, Oregon. We've got Anoka and Belfast in as usual, and a host of others who we will hopefully acknowledge if I look at the right radio screen. Starting with the roll call, if you've got the home game here for, what is it? It's February, it says the 7th. I don't think that's right. It should say the 6th. So if you've got the home game, it says the 7th, mark it down for the 6th, and here we go. We'll get SWL1 checked in. Or actually, no. First, we got to get 00. Is 00 out there? Hello, Paul.
Hello, Jack. Little noise tonight, but you're making it through this fine.
Okay, I hope I'm some of that noise in your signal to noise ratio. You sound great, so we'll look forward to a few check-ins, and thanks for getting us started off. SWL1 is checked in, and SWL2. I saw him over on Old Radio tonight, checking in with JT and the guys, And Mr. OBP says the MUF appears to be between 15 and 20 meters. Might be getting some of the late night skip. I don't know. But it says sunspot is 2 days of 0 sunspots, and I don't know where the A and K index is quite yet today. We'll check that out a little bit later. Anyway, thanks, Kevin, for the update. And we will get you checked in. Over to SWL3. SWL4. SWL5. I did not see Ida this week, so let me get a proxy in for Mama Rose. Hope she's doing okay. Over to SWL6. Shortwave listener number 7.
Number 7, checking in.
Okay, checking in and checked in as usual. My computer screen is a little bit slow, so, but the 7 just came up and it's got the check mark. Thanks.
Thank you.
Trying to catch up on my. I need a what do they call it? A podium or something here I can lay all my papers on. All right, we're coming up to. We go all the way over here to SWL10. I'm seeing who's on the list of lists. Chrissy is up there. I do see her out there. It says 10 and 30 checking in. Yeah, listen up. There's a possibility of the band opening up tonight, but you always look and sound good right here on the old Tube Radio Network. Thanks, Chrissy. Over to SWL 13. I will be refreshing and checking the pages. And I do believe if you need to check in Facebook-wise, that is still working. SWL 14. SWL 16. Charlie out of Anoka was in earlier and ended up helping me. I lost one of the audio rack pieces in the rack, so I went to. What is it on Charlie Brown when, is it Schroeder? And he's got the whole closet full of pianos and busts of Beethoven. Well, I had to go to my closet full of audio processing stuff. And so if you see, it's up here on the video. It's this piece right at the top. So if you see all those blinking lights going on, that is the new piece of audio wizardry that doesn't make me sound any better than somebody running their standard microphonium. But thanks for your assistance in getting that set up here tonight. SWL 17. Get the right thing on the video. SWL 18. I'll get Mikey checked in from Facebook. SWL 19, Chet in Derby, New York. I think you're showing up, yeah, as Belfast, Maine. Also helping to get all the rack gear. I have no idea what is happening over in the green room tonight. I've been so busy. I did not go over there, so we'll check in with Bob and Steve and see what they've cooked up. I tried to hide the Costco card this week, but I have a feeling that they were on to me, and so you may actually have good stuff in the green room tonight, and not leftovers from last week. In fact, they're probably doing some Super Bowl thing. I'm looking at. I think I see more TV screens in there, so the Costco card is probably not safe. How about SWL 20?
Number 20 here. Check in 29 and 54, and if he doesn't do it himself, 135.
All right, we will get to all of those items of interest at the proper time. You're sounding loud tonight, so we'll chat with you when we start glowing in the dark and find out what you're doing over there. Okay, we are still on page 1 looking for SWL 21. And of course, that's Mr. JT DD21 from the Wasama Swamps of South Carolina, fresh off his appearance of Old Radio Night tonight. Where is my thing? What were they doing tonight? It was a Pierce Simpson cymbal. I have one of those. I forgot. It's up on a shelf. I have not really done much transmitting on it. I think it works. I may have to kind of bring it up slow on the Variac. And DD21, if you're listening, JT, help me out. I think there was a couple of Simba versions. There was like a 7 knob and an 8 knob. I think I have the 8 knob, and then there was a Mark II or a secondary version. Looks like you've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 knob, and not the number 2 version. I'm just going to randomly pull out a part here of Old Radio Night where it was the Pierce Simpson and the Long Ranger reverse preamp. Here we go.
The radio, and it's got the 3-pin plug on it, so that's what I went with. I just wanted to get being this Old Radio Night, have the premium mic that they made at the time, and I missed one the other week. Man, I was wanting to buy that radio, but I already got 3 of them. The Courier Royale. It had the koozie and everything, and a Courier power desk mic. This thing was great, man. It was ugly looking, but it had a roller knob on it that was vertical.
So where do you must have like this giant barn or something? Where do you put all these radios? Old Radio Night on the Pierce Simpson Simba, sounding really good. We've got you checked in. Let's go over to SWL22. I have a lot of radios, but they're all kind of piled up, and most of them are broken, I think. Probably including the one I'm trying to use tonight. Let's try. I think we're going to do it the old-fashioned way tonight. I got the bill from the satellite uplink last week. Mitch, are you out there? I'm going to see if I got you checked in. 23 Skidoo, and I thought we had some type of a discount, but they charge you, they charge you per minute, and I had kept the link up the entirety of OTR because I wasn't sure when the pass was coming by, so the bill was a little bit high. So I will endeavor to do better here in the near future so we can do another TubeSat link up. Checking in from where are you? The Looking Glass. 32. Okay. I don't know what Looking Glass you're in there. I think that's okay. Well, 23 is checking in. And there's a station trying to break OTR. You have broken it. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dennis, this is 61 Dean checking in. I got to do it early tonight. I'm on the road.
On the road again, and you are in the neighborhood, sounding good. So you will be checked in, and maybe I should do that. Any early check-ins or emergency check-ins, then we'd have everybody checking in their radio because that would be a good emergency. All right, thanks for breaking in, and we've got you checked in. Drive safely, and I know you do.
Thank you, Dennis.
Oh, Dino putting in a bang-up signal here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. I want to make sure I do get Dean checked in over on page 3. They're playing the home game. I guess I could pop him up on the screen as well, not trying to break anything. Here we go. All right, next, let's see. Mitch was in SWL 24. SWL 25.
Hello, Dennis, 25 checking in, and if you could proxy in 74, she's down from 50,000 watts to 12,500 tonight.
That happens at the radio station, at the FM station. Our transmitter, because of the snow and the sleet and bad things on the antenna, automatically adjusts the power down. Because it senses a bad SWR, a bad VSWR, and it will turn the power down. So no doubt, to save the 50,000 watt transmitter, it is sort of adjusting itself down into a variable power level to keep things from blowing up. So we understand that, and we will get both of you checked in. Over.
Hey, thank you, Dennis. Yeah, she's down about 75%.
All right, good deal. Sounding good. Let's see. Before he runs out the door, I wanted to say hello to the one nice voice. Uncle Gunter is checking in. Said he's got to run. He's going to work some of that gray line where it is early in the morning out there in DK5 land. Gunter, thanks for stopping by the old Tube Radio Network. Stop back with us here in about 90 minutes and let us know how the gray line works. Probably going to be talking to some stations out here on the East Coast. How far can you get on the gray line? I don't know what the propagation is, so have a good time with that. We'll look for the report back. 25 is in. That takes us over to SWL 27.
Number 27's checking in via the FM crossband. KI6QL.
All right, I remembered to have the crossband turned up, and I think you were there. In fact, I know you were there, so I've got you checked in, sounding good FM, AM, and everywhere else. KV6GFD.
Roger.
Okay, that's Dwayne checking in. He's got a couple of tube radios in his arsenal, but jumping in on the FM crossband tonight, perfectly acceptable here on the old Tube Radio Network. Let's head over on the crossband. I would have to be, it would be possible. I don't know where Gary is at, but if he was, if you had your amateur radio license, I bet we could link up from where you are in Sacramento, probably catch a repeater up on Mount Diablo or a Mount Oso that you could hit from your QTH and do a check-in just like that. Gary out of Sacramento area, who I know is on line here. Let me scroll back and see what Gary had to say. He says, hello, 28's checking in. Excited he saw a steak delivery van truck out front. It must be delivering steaks to the green room. I don't know. I have a feeling it is some type of Super Bowl thing going on. And if it's Omaha Steaks, hopefully they don't damage the credit card too much. I've got you checked in, and good luck. I hope we don't have to stand in line to get one of those nice steaks. We've got a proxy check-in for Mr. Loner 29, and also a check-in for Dwayne, who I don't know if he's got a radio up on the bench or what he's doing tonight, but he is in the Radio Shack along with us, right along on the old Tube Radio Network tonight. Thanks, Dwayne, for checking in. And Gary says it is Omaha. All right, I think that's the expensive good stuff. And let's see, Gunter says African region. So okay, that's long before sunrise. See, I'm not real good at my gray line chart. What I need is one of those fancy multi-$100, what was it, the maps that have the gray line. It's the big television type screen. I can't remember what that is called. They've been selling those for like 30 years, and now they are even bigger and better. Says New York was weak in the noise. Roll calls where we're at. You're playing along with us. We're looking for Robert and Teresa out there in Hendersonville, Tennessee. SWL 31. And I will refresh my comments. I have been neglecting my other screens. See if we have somewhere near Hendersonville, Tennessee on the screen tonight. Get them checked in. Thank you, Felix. The Geochron. That is correct. I don't know how I could forget that. That's like one of those things when you first become a ham radio operator, you think, oh, that would be cool, and you find out they're $1,000. So then you go to the local ham fest and get one of those ARRL maps for $2, and then that's what you get in the Radio Shack, and then figure out where the gray line might be. Okay, we are looking for SWL 32. SWL 33, myself, Baker Oscar, Zulu Oscar, honking the proboscis. Everybody in the green room, Mr. Announcer, looks like everybody is here tonight, ready to have a good time and check in all the radios. Let's try Jimmy riding the train through the old Tube Radio Network tonight. SWL 34. Batavia, Illinois, checking in. I see you, Jimmy. You're looking good. From the old Tube Radio CB network, et al. All the other, 15 or 20 Facebook sites that he runs. So if you're jumping in from one of the Facebook links, hello to you. This is the old Tube Radio network, something we've been doing on the air for about 36 years. Just started streaming and doing the video not too long ago. Next, we go to SWL 35. Let's see if we've got Mr. Bill in somewhere tonight. Yes, he's checking in from Cheyenne. And Bill, we missed you on Friday. They didn't have, as you know, they didn't have the ditch banks up on the air, but I bet you were trying to listen in if you could. SWL 36. SWL 37.
SWL 37.
SWL 37 sounding good still.
Thank you.
SWL 38. SWL 39. My headphones are pulling me over here. 39 is not in. SWL 40 is down in the basement. If you're listening, Larry, you're checked in. Over. And ONV says he's mostly on 160, 80, and 40. So I'm assuming you've got a lot of long wire antennas, unless you've got one of those, 3-element 40 beams from the base station. Working a full-size G5 RV, not very efficient. Well, that'll work on 20. The hex beam, I think you're going to like the hex beam. Everybody seems to like those. Says he still does CB radio portable with a 2-element Joe gun and skip out in the fields with battery power, 100 watts all day long. Wait till the bands open up here in a couple years. Maybe we'll hear you beaconing in on the early morning gray line here. Over to SWL 41, Mr. Road Dog 507. Seeing if he's popping up on the screen here. Not just yet. We've got a proxy check-in for SWL 42. SWL 43, I should have a proxy check-in for Crazy Eddie.
Yeah, proxy him.
And from the Hudson Valley, New York, hello everyone from Road Dog 507, checking in on the screen right now. Looking good, we've got you there, 507. SWL 44, I did see Mr. Ray on the big screen. I don't know if he's radioactive or not. Hello, Ray. Sounding good here in the Flatlands tonight. You said you might be picking up a little bit of skip up there? Okay, I thought you might, you said you might be picking up a little skip tonight. We will see. I'm sure we will notice it if it comes in. The guy that checked in is 00, also known as SWL 45, the Falcon. Hello, Paul.
Hi, yeah, it's a weird night. The noise comes and goes, so you never know. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's all right. But anyway, have you got your pen tonight? Back to you.
Yes, I do. Where did I put it? It's up here in Q, and when we start the radio tonight, it's a cool-looking sort of this red and white with the it's a good pen. It's like you don't get anymore. But I'm sure we're manufactured at some plant in the U.S. So we'll find out who's sponsoring us tonight on as I fill up the pocket protector coming up. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, and Ray, the question was, I thought you said you were hearing skip coming, and I just wondered if you had heard any more. Everett went away. Also, I want to say hello to. There was somebody that scrolled through there, and I didn't want them to get off the screen. Oh, out there in Foreland, the very popular Sierra Radio. Hello, Keith, from Rocky Mountain, Virginia, where it just started snowing. And Keith and I are trying to make a cross-country link-up through the Fusion Wires X, and we never seem to get into the radio room at the same time or be able to get our links to link. But I have good feelings that I will be able to press the right buttons here pretty soon. I'm checking the radio, Keith. I'm seeing the Ditch Banks is up, but I don't know if it's linked in. You know what? I'm going to leave it in the queue here. I'm going to leave the Ditch Banks in the queue. And we'll see what happens, see if anything pops up. Directed net roll call. The radios are coming up. We are looking for SWL 46. SWL 47.
Well, good evening from Northwest Fresno in the Radio Lounge, SWL 47, where unfortunately we do not have a geochron. But one of those has been on my radar screen for a very, very, very long time. Those things are really cool. You got to go to their webpage. They've got some pretty cool looking toys there for your pleasure. So there it is. Radio Launch 47.
All right, got you checked in. I think there's something new. I think they have something that's a little cheaper. Or, I mean, 30 years ago it was like a big television set you put on in the back screen, and the thing would move around. So yeah, there's the 21st century geochron. I always look on somebody's QRZ page, and it's like, oh man, he's got a geochron. So he's got a big time station. I just have to do the finger, wet the finger and stick it in the air to find out where the gray line is. We've got you checked in, and you are sounding good from the Radio Lounge.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
SWL 48. SWL 49. SWL 50. And let's see. Oh, also waving a hand is for our radio stations. I got to find the special Johnny Defiant filter out there tonight, Mr. Johnny Defiant. Beaconing through the airwaves and making sure that there is plenty of propagation for all. Got you checked in, Johnny. Let's go over to that guy in Sanger, 305 SWL 51.
SWL 51 checking in.
Wow, I had to look at my S meter. Like, is he in the mobile too under my antenna? You're sounding good. You're sounding good, Dave. Let's see, I had the Orban that was, came out of the trash pile. It bricked the 8200 ST. And so I have replaced that with I don't even know what it's called. It was here. It's a Prism 2 FM. I think they used to call them a Techstar, digitally controlled audio processor. So that's what's in the final mix tonight. And I'm thinking with the setup you have there, you would probably like one of these. Although your audio is good enough, I doubt it would make anything better. But take a look at one of those. I think you would like it. Anyway, you're sounding good and we got you checked in. We are going next to SWL 52. And I will keep an eye out because Mr. Aaron sometimes is from behind the golden iPad watching the old tube radio network from afar. Let's go to SWL 53.
Hello, Dennis. 53 checking in.
5-3, Mr. Bel Air. Sounding good in Midtown tonight. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
Of course, we will get the virtual sky check-in for Mr. Boardjammer, and we will head up the hill for SWL 55 M&M.
55 checking in.
And there he is. Sounding as good as always. Thanks for listening in tonight.
I highly doubt that, Dennis, but thank you anyways.
All right, well, I got the video proof. We've got the S meter. It looks like you were peaking up to about S9 and well above the noise, so you can dial in later on and give yourself a radio check. Let's see, 55 is in. Let's go over to a guy that always sounds good, doesn't need a radio check, SWL 56.
Well, thank you, Dennis. Good evening to you and to the net. 56, checking in.
Checking in good. Yeah, you made our, I don't know if I have any historical replays this tonight or not. I might find one, but Grandpa made our history playback last week. I can't remember what radio you were on, but it sounded good, just like this one. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis. It was the Browning.
Oh, that's right. It was the Browning. You're just like the brand new Browning, right out of the box. All right. Thanks for checking in. But somebody has a good memory around here. SWL 57, Mr. Brown Dog Audio, otherwise known as Worldwide Sidebander 1942. Central Kentucky is the QTH I have listed here. Waiting for the snow. Tubes are keeping everything warm and cozy in the shack. A big shout out to his brother, Dirt Floor Poor Hot Rod Station 396. He's watching tonight. Hello, let's see, 396 with 4 on the floor, maybe 5 on the floor, and 397 somewhere. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening. The Old Tube Radio Network here in Central California and beaconing everywhere else. Yeah, Mr. BDA 57, when we get some conditions, is probably going to be tearing down the house here in Central California, no doubt. Let's go over to SWL 58. And I'm getting a proxy check in for 58 because he is busy. He's busy doing stuff. And so I know that he would like to be checked in. In fact, he was he? No, he wasn't on the, he was out busy last night in the Ditch Banks sideband net. Let's go over to SWL 59. And then we'll go up to, hello to our new stations, Prairie Grove, somewhere out at or near Prairie Grove, Arkansas, Lafayette, Louisiana. Is it Blanchester, Ohio, Brea, California, down near my old stomping grounds there in Southern California. Let's go over to SWL 60.
Thank you there, Dennis. Evening time to all the fellas out there, to operators, everyone. Doggone it, SWL 60 checking in Jake's base, the 291 DX25 27.
You know, it's like the old standard. You can never go wrong when you've got the with the 2527 ready to go at any moment. Sounding good.
Thank you much, Dennis.
And 61 checked in via the mobile. And John, Juliet Whiskey reminds us that he's listening to the AM contest on 80 meters, and I think it is the... I don't know if it's a contest. It's the AM rally. Oh, man, you know, I had some information up about that. I'll get it later. Let me just take a pause. Take a pause here. And I'm going to see if we've got some carriers. Just barely. And that's over the 40-meter antenna. There's the guys at 3885. I can just hear the carrier, but I can't hear the audio. But I believe it is the AM rally going on tonight, and that is get on the air with your boat anchor, with your new radio, with your old radio, but get on and do some old yam. And that's what we do here every Saturday, actually. here on the Old Tube Radio Network. We do AM radio with our supposed boat anchors. So we have a rally every evening, but we'll check in a little bit later for the AM rally. Thanks for reminding me about that. Well, the East Coast. The East Coast guys know how to do that full legal limit, and then some AM on the big tube radios. Over to SWL 62. Let me move my headphones around here. Yeah, much better. Let's see. SWL 63. Mr. Butterbean, I did see him on our network here. He was also on Old Radio Night Tonight out in North Georgia. 63. Breaking the big Uno Niner, or in this case, the big, what are we? Where are we? The big Uno. Well, we've got you checked in. SWL 64. SWL 65.
Can I proxy him, please, Dennis?
Yeah, we'll get a proxy check in for Eric tonight. No problem. Let's see, where else are we going? Let's go to SWL 66. I'm always kind of lost because I got 3 or 4 meters and I'm monitoring, and I've got new stuff in the audio rack, and I have to kind of keep monitoring to see if it's failing and if it's where it should be, and if this audio stream is coming out. So if you see me flailing here with wires and things, that's probably what I'm doing, as well as getting everybody checked in, getting ready for the radios tonight. Let's go to SWL 67. That's Bill up there in Canby, Oregon, who was joining us early on to get everything set up. I don't know if you're still out there listening, Bill. I could probably tell because you were down here in the front row, and the lights are always shining in my eyes, and you're still there. It looks like you went out to the green room and got something. We'll find out here in just a minute what's happening over there. What kind of goodies are going on? Thanks for checking in. Over to SWL 68. And Johnny Defiant says, Johnson Viking happiness. And Johnny Defiant, it's not the Vikings, it's the Viking 500s. It's the Johnson Desk kilowatts. It's the KW ones, the KWS ones. It's the big stuff. It's the BC 610s. It's the, what have you. We were featuring a B&W 5100B on the screen here, probably a few of those. And, the thing is, your little ICOM 7300 is going to play just as well on AM night tonight. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Let's try SWL 69. Hello, Kenny, out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you're listening, we'll look for your check-in coming up this week, and I'm marking you in over. Let's go to SWL 70. SWL 71, and that is Stan. Let me scroll down and see what Stan is up to. He might be doing an old buzzard transmission somewhere on the on the YAM rally tonight. Stan, if you're listening, I'm refreshing my screen, and I should see you in a moment. Let's go over to SWL 72. SWL 73. I'm going to check in John. He has got a lot. I think he's got a KWS1. I don't know what other old boat anchor equipment John has got, but no doubt he could be playing in the AM rally tonight as well. I should convince him to fire up. Those Johnson, was it the Rangers, the Valiants? They all have 11 meters on them. They're not the Class D, but they could fire up tonight. So maybe someone will be kind enough to jump in from the AM rally tonight in their 11M band portion and give us a call. 74, SWL 74, of course, is checked in at low power, but still sounding good. SWL 75. And Stan, there you are. It was my fault for not refreshing the page, because I know you were We're there on time, so we'll get in Dallas, Georgia checked in. Over to SWL 77.
Well, good evening, Dennis, and 73 is everyone on the net, and the new boat anchor. As you mentioned, the 7300 on a ground-mounted vertical, 77 on the Tower of Power, checking in.
This is KW4SR calling CQ and standing by.
And sounding good, Dennis, on the item of interest. All right, I'm going to take a break here, and we're going to do another first.
KW4SR, I believe it was. W6
Okay.
N-speed.
It's working. There's Keith coming through. He's probably getting some feedback, so I'm going to turn the audio down, but
Yeah, W6
it's working.
SP, I think it was there. KW4SR. Hey, good evening. The name here is Keith, and kind of new to wires, just trying to experiment. I've got a friend out in Fresno, B6 GFD, and we've been for just to be on at the same time or been able to make contact over.
Okay, yeah, KB6 GFD, Dennis. I know him pretty well. He's actually probably on another radio right now, matter of fact. But his name here is Jeremy, and I'm new to wires myself, so.
So there you go. That's Keith, who's watching us in, I think it's in Virginia somewhere, checking into the local station here on Wires X. So maybe we'll jump in and give him a call on the roll call. 77 is in. How about SWL 78? And that is Richard, who I think is probably listening in. I saw Riverside, which I think shows up as a Wildemar. I will refresh the screen. The Squamish group is up in the balcony. I see up there. Just ran in the front door with something. I don't know if that's popcorn or not. And also looking to see if Richard is in. Let's try SWL 79.
Didn't have it on tonight. I didn't know he was going to be on here. I should have threw a check-in in. So.
SWL 80?
Yeah, actually, I'll be heading that way myself here in about 4 or 5 months. We're packing up and going to Tennessee.
So, all right, no 7980. Let me take a moment here. And you know what? It's weird. It gets the beep tone through the radio, even though it's down. Where is the Bob and Steve Open? We have the special. There it is. See what's going on tonight.
27.0850 TR channel 11.
All right, over to the Bob and Steve show. See what's happening in the green room tonight before we head off to page 4. And SWL 81 says, congratulations, Dennis, on winning the beanbag toss tournament. I wasn't going to say anything because I thought people would think maybe it was rigged, but I'm not that great of a beanbag tosser. That was the Green Room Lounge last week. I had the best score and the most holes, the best time. Probably because I'm the only one that was playing the game. The guys want you to teach them how to do it. You know what? I had a lot of training in the Cub Scouts. We did a lot of beanbag tossing back in the day. They said if you play the next time, they are giving me a handicap. Left hand only. I have trouble with the right hand. You get the blue ribbon and the trophy, plus a $100 gift certificate from Costco. Good, I'll use it to pay my bill. The Jingle Singers are having a birthday party for Lincoln and a Super Bowl party in the green room. I knew it was too good to be true. All 4 big TVs will be on the game. I thought it was a little bit bright in there. The TVs are on now, checking things out. Hopefully they're watching OTR. And 2 on Kansas and 2 on Tampa Bay. We play no favorites here at the Old Tube Radio Network. At the bar all day and all night. All you can eat, catered from Kansas and Florida, all paid for by Bob and Steve. Thank you, Bob and Steve. Drinks on the house paid for by the Jingle Singers. And as they say, we have fish. Have a super week. Don't forget to feed the fish. It looks like it'll be a fun weekend, as it often is. Page 4, SWL 81. Steve Areno from the secret location, who will probably give us a shout-out at some point. on one of the various media sources here. So, Steve, if you're listening, we got you checked in. Look for your SWL 81 up here in the top box. Over to SWL 82.
Yeah, probably staying pretty busy there. Yeah.
Let me get to Ron Proxied, and he might be listening to Jeremy and Keith there on the other band. Let's go to SWL 83. Now, Epimetheus 83 was on the old radio night tonight, and he is also lurking. Well, maybe not lurking. He's probably right on the open. Yeah. I've got too many things on my screen here. I would able to see that he is checking in, waving a hand from Colorado Springs, Colorado, where it just, if the band opens up, you just might be able to hear the old tube radio network. Thanks, 83. Over to SWL 84. SWL 85. We're hearing really. I heard Bob coming in really good tonight, and I thought I heard John in earlier. 85. Maybe things have changed. I am going to also get 84 and 86, 87, and 88 checked in. That's, of course, Cheerios Kid, the Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl. Over to SWL 89, SWL 90, and then over to SWL 91. Felix, who was also in on Old Radio Night tonight, and of course here on the Old Tube Radio Network, helping me out with the Geocron. And Felix, I thought there's somebody here in town that drives a taxi cab yellow, and it's a mid-60s vintage VW Bug. And they even have the wheel, I don't call them the wheel covers, but the tires, the wheel covers on the Bug painted yellow so it matches. And is it the license plate? It says Felix on it. And then there's a picture of Felix the cat and a little round logo on the door. I've seen it a couple times now driving down the road. I'm thinking, what is up? What is up with the Felix thing? But anyway, you have fans here in Central California with the Felix VW. So we've got you checked in. Let's go over to SWL 92. SWL 93. I got a proxy check in for 93. And then we go up to SWL 95, Warthog 95, World Radio 48, checking in from Orlando, Florida, where everything is always great, I bet. There in Orlando, good weather, I guess, when it's not blowing the palm trees over. You're sounding good, looking good in the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Let's head up to over to 90, Boston 97. See if Jim is out there. I am looking. Sometimes people check in early and I miss them. Like BAO, KD4. Hello, Bravo Alpha Oscar. Greetings from South Carolina. I don't know what it is. Maybe my computer is pointing towards the 4 area call. I get a lot of 4 stations checking in on the internet here. I must have like a rhombic. My Cat 5 cables are making like a rhombic antenna down that way. So let's see. Let's try SWL 98. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Dennis. Checking in.
All right. Hopefully you can hear me down that way tonight. Over.
Well, you sound pretty good. I got you about an S5, nice and clear though. Nope, yeah, sound good.
All right, yeah, sounding good in somebody's neighborhood. We got you checked in, thanks. And we head over to the guy that runs a mean mobile sometimes on 11 meters, SWL 103. SWL 109. Just making sure I forgot how to use this prism. Make sure I'm not overdriving anything here. SWL 110. SWL 111. If you're listening, Robert, which you probably aren't, you were sounding really good coming in this way, but as usual, the return path not so good, but we've got you checked in. And 360 is saying, why the heck can I check in all of a sudden? Why can I post your... Yeah, check to see if you're still... check to see if you're still deleted. That is odd. Well, I'll guarantee you that whatever the link-up thing we have for the comments is really bizarre and strange. I have problems. It works and it doesn't work, and I don't even know what it's linked up to anymore. Maybe it went back to the old way where it was linked up to email, which I hoped that we could do that, but I was under the impression that doesn't happen anymore. Also, hello to Rob. Says everything is working well tonight for a change. I agree. Knock on wood. He's also picking up some skip on the 10 and 11 meter bands this weekend, and like all of us, working on. He's looking and hoping for those sunspots out there. In the zero land for sure. Thank you, Rob. Let's go over to SWL 113.
It really digs through the noise. If there's a lot of noise in...
SWL 114.
114 checking in.
SWL 114. Hello, Wayne. You are sounding good here on the Old Tube Radio Network as always. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for the check-in.
Over to SWL 128. Let me scroll down the page because I did see John checking in about an hour ago. 128, sounding good. And let's see, are they still? Let me jump in the.
And I'm sure we'll catch you again.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna jump in on. See if we can.
Okay, Jeremy. Well, I really appreciate it, and. Yeah, I'll
get a check-in with Keith here in just a moment on the.
If not, I'm going to give him another quick call.
The Wires X.
So it was nice talking with you, and
I'll leave it keyed up here.
Trip to Tennessee, and best of luck to you. And hope to catch you again soon. 73s. SP, I think it is KW4SR.
KB6GFD.
W6SP.
KB6GFD. See if I'm linking in. KB6GFD. Hello, Keith. Well, I may be doubling. Hello, Keith. KB6GFD. Okay, I think I have to be in the room. KB6GFD. I probably have to be linked up in the room to do that.
KB6GFD, W6NSB. No, you're...
All right, I might be on the wrong power setting or something, but I heard Keith beaconing through, sounding good. Just wanted to say hello, radio.
Yeah, okay. Hello, Dennis. Yeah, we'll catch up with you a little later. You can check me in, too. 73, KW4SR.
All right, you're sounding good. Check yourself on the replay. Thank you, Jeremy, for the link, and back to the net, KB6GFD. And this is the net. We've got John checked in 128. That was a link up from Keith in Virginia. I think that's where he's at, through the Fusion Wires X link. And let's see, I think we've talked to John before on the Echo link, 128. Let's try the other John, SWL 131. And I don't know if Dave's got, if he's got wires, fusion, or stuff or not. I know he's got HF stuff. SWL 133. Hello, Dave.
Good evening, Dennis. 133 checking in this evening.
All right, sounding good from northwest Fresno tonight, and we've got you checked in.
Thank you.
Over to Cliff, SWL 135. Got the proxy for Cliff. SWL 137 also said to proxy in AJ. Let's see if Tony is on the air tonight. SWL 145.
Good evening, Dennis in the gate. Tony 145 checking in from Course Gold.
Sounding good from Course Gold tonight. Hope all is well up that way. Over.
Everything's fine here. Just to update, the 1-8 repeater is still down on Deadwood. They're having, the club's having trouble getting access to even get up to the top of Deadwood.
You know, I heard somebody talking about that, where it's sort of a walk-in or park and walk. But if you've got, spectrum analyzers and toolboxes and stuff, sometimes it's easier said than done to park and walk up there. So hopefully the snow will give way, or in fact, one of my friends who's an engineer had to go up to channel 53 and said he spent a 4-hour just shoveling the snow to get to a satellite dish to do a 10-minute little redo on something on the dish. So it takes a little bit of working to get up there. Over.
Station.
And the station, go ahead.
Yeah, Cliff was checking in on the 2-meter crossband.
Oh, you know what? Oh, okay, thank you. I had switched over to the... Let me switch back to the crossband. Thank you for reminding me about that. And we are there, and I'll get him checked in. Thanks.
No problem.
And Tony, thanks for the updates on the repeater. Hopefully they will get everything set up soon. Over. That's the 180 repeater up there in Oakhurst, which is sometimes shadowed. If you can't get up to Meadow Lake, sometimes that one will work quite well. All right, Tony, we do have you checked in. And SWL 147, I pretty much thought I saw 147 in on my big screen. Oh, there he is. Yeah, Neil's in there. I always seem to pass him by. But he is in tonight. Kakalaki on board. It's cold and raining. Not much going on here. Radios are very quiet and conditions come and go. 73 from the guy with the 6 call. I bet he throws a few people off when he's out there in Kakalaki with the 6 call, but that's okay. I'm one of those 6 calls as well. Let's go over to SWL, up to the Course Gold, SWL 195.
195, checking in, Dennis. Everybody's sounding good tonight.
Well, we're trying. The wheels haven't come off yet. So we are hoping, and we've got a lot of tube radios waiting to go here coming up in about 2 minutes. So that's the show. The show is about to start. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis.
195 is in. Let's go over to SWL 226. And I'll get a check in for Jeff, who was in the Digibank sideband net earlier up there in Mariposa. Anybody else that's listening or would like to comment, make a check-in before we head over to the tube radios? Over. All right, so with that said, I'm going to jump around, change some wires, wiggle some connectors, and we'll be back with your glow-in-the-dark tube radios here on the Old Tube Radio Network. All right, I think I've flipped all the switches that are necessary here. And we will find out. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Hey there, the Old Tube Radio Network. I hope you have a chance before you check in to jump into the green room tonight. As usual, Bob and Steve have done a great job of getting things ready for the show here, or the net here, and all the items going on tomorrow, a Super Bowl or not, or whatever you want. There's 4 TVs, and I think they've got a little like black and white console in the back if you want to watch the news or something else. The Old Tube Radio Network, it's Tube Radio time. Dennis here in the control room of the Old Tube Radio Network. And our sponsor tonight, I'm going to populate the pocket protector tonight with a very fine quality pen. It's good to know there are advertisers have re-upped with us for 2021. And tonight it's Budco Metronics Incorporated, wholesale electronics parts and components at 601 West 11th Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. Let's see if I can get a picture here in the not-so-good OTR close-up camera for our friends at Budco Metronics Incorporated in the beautiful city of Indianapolis, Indiana, with the phone number there that I won't give out because it could still be somebody's phone number. It's not a BR549. Tube Radio list is ready to go, and I hope you are glowing in the dark. OTR standing by.
25. 25.
60.
Boy, I can't even write that fast. All right, 3 in a row. That's a good way to start. We've got Joe. Joe, you'll be radio number 3. Head over to the green room. They will let you know. I'm letting them know that you'll be number 3, and they'll tap you on the shoulder. They'll hold your dinner plate and your drink, and you'll be able to jump up in the air share. Radio number 2 is going to be Jerry, Mr. Sidekick, out in Madera Heights. We'll be up there with you. And jumping into the air chair right now, Paul, Mr. Falcon, up there in North Fork. Our 00, this is the 8-week period, and I see that you have 8 in a row, so you'll be in the running. Maybe you'll have a 16-week jump in as 00. It increases your pay by 100%. What is 100 times 0? Paul, can you hear me? Over.
Okay. Yeah, well, I was checking my General Radio telephone, Super MC12.
Okay, we're starting with the rare stuff tonight. Who's watching? I hope Ronald Barton. Somebody tell Ron Barton to jump in here at whatever this is on the timeline, like an hour and 5 minutes in, so that he can listen to and hear one of his all-time favorite radios. And I don't know how many. Ron, how many of these do you have? The General Radio Telephone, the Super MC12, the radio that probably never should have been and almost never was. Jumping into a picture here, I hope. Yeah, there it is. Back to you, over.
Okay, well, that's not the one I'm talking on, but that is the same type radio. Definitely, this is blown to Jim, that one there did, and lost the transformer on the thing. So I'll replace it with this one right here. And this is a good radio, I'll tell you that for sure. They did a lot of work on this thing. They changed a few things. It was really nice. They had what they call a super squelch on the thing. And the squelch is in the RF section using half of the RF tube to give you squelch and RF gain on the same squelch control. So if you turn it, you're setting it, well, I'll tell you what, it sure knocks a lot of the noise out of the thing. Really like it. Back to you.
Always nice to have a good receiver, or a good receiver paired with a really great transmitter. That's the part we hear on this end. And the MC12, of course, is no slouch. I'm assuming it's pretty much interior-wise like a Super MC11A. General Radio Telephone was sold to Skyhawk Antenna Company in 1972. They upgraded the MC12 with a much larger and powerful final audio tube. Well, you mean other than the ECLL 800, the MC12 was not able to be type accepted by the FCC. They probably had that strap plug in the back. And there was somebody talking about, it was Greg, I think it was Greg and Mitch, talking about strapping radios. This is one of those radios, the MC12 and the Super MC11A, that actually had a plug. You plugged in the back, an octal plug, and it would strap the radio for you, give you that business band output. But they would do some stuff to the audio. Back to you for another transmission on the MC12. It really, really sounds good. Over.
Yeah, well, using the CM3 ceramic microphone on the thing. This isn't the one I used to have on it. This came off of MC11A. So I grabbed it real fast, so I'd try to see what it sounded like tonight. I hope it sounded good. It's my other one, as you know, we kind of keep up the boat. Haven't figured out what's wrong with it yet. May never do it, but I might. Anyway, well, they lost it because of the type acceptance, so this radio will still be going out there, I bet you. Back to you.
I think you are right. I did a screenshot so you could see the S meter along with the audio if you watch the YouTube playback. And you are well above the noise at about S9 and a good quality audio for DX and RagChew as well. Radio number 1 from General Radio Telephone, their last offering. And I guess they didn't make, 1972, they went away, the MC12. I don't think there was a solid-state General Radio Telephone. So this is a piece of history and a very rare radio indeed. Thanks for bringing it by tonight. Over.
Yeah, Okay, I appreciate it. This really is a great radio, I'll tell you. The MC-11As are so much like this. They put a bigger tube in this one, a 6C10 on the thing, but you know what? That ECL 800 did a tremendous job. I really can't tell a whole much difference with it. It may be just a little bit louder, but other than that, they did everything right. Thanks. Check it in.
Thanks for bringing it by. We enjoy it. Looks like maybe Butterbean is checking out. Good night to Butterbean over on the video side. Stepping up into the air chair now. And he's got a crew. I don't know if it's jingle singers. They are following him in with plates of food. They're setting up he's not quite ready yet. They're setting up the TV tray. They're setting down the drinks. And I think he is ready to go. Hello, Jerry, over.
Well, hello, Dennis. Thanks. Actually, I was having more fun in the green room with the jingle singers, pretzels and the beer and the pizza, and I think somebody snuck in a bottle of peppermint schnapps. I'm not, of course, I'll never tell. But anyway, SWO 25 checking in on the Sonar Model E. What else can I say about it? Back to you, Dennis.
All right, let's go to the Rolodex and find a shot of the Model E. They had a D, E, G, and H. I'm not sure if I've ever checked in a Model D. The E, the G, and the H, I think, we have in our 36 years put them in. Let me go to the really cool shot that 135 has for us, and he's even got the sonar meter. And I think somebody was selling an E somewhere. But there you go, 8 channels, the big round speaker, and I don't know if the knobs we're showing here have like a little cross. They're plasticky knobs or Bakelite or whatever they are, but they've got a little cross X thing in the middle of the knob, over.
Exactly right, Dennis. And by the way, I forgot to tell you, I'm talking on the stock big old bread box handheld sonar microphone. But yeah, the XTAL stands for crystal controlled. And right now I am on crystal control as far as. Well, I don't think I can change it on transmit because that's all I can do. But on receive, I have the option to switch over to tune, which I'm doing right now, and then I'm on the VFO, which is the third button on the right-hand side. I can scan all over the place. So, well, I don't know about all over the place, but I can scan a few frequencies, megahertz down or up, but that's strictly on receive. So, but yeah, 8-channel crystal controlled transmitter, and the ANT red light is boy, it's loud. The red one is every time I talk is glowing and pulsating, I should say, and then the green power light below that, and of course the squelch. That's a no-brainer there. And then yes, this is one of the few sonars, unlike the Model G, that does have the speaker built in the front of the radio. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
Beginning out my audio, the green power light or blue, whatever it is, and then the antenna light. I don't know if that just shows up if you have an antenna, or maybe that illuminates when there is a problem with the antenna. I'd be curious before you go if that illuminates on your transmit, or maybe that's a warning if you get high SWR. John mentioning that a Sonar FS2340 sold today on eBay. Oh, you're kidding. Practically new in the box. And we would have added tax, license, white wall tires, and Carol Merrill for the price of $1,037. That's the 2340 that I think has the push-pull. I don't know if these had the push-pull 6BQ5 or 6AQ5 audio, but you don't need any more audio with that piece of toast microphonium. And we are looking at the close-up with your TuneIn XL. One question before you go. There is an 8-channel selector knob for the 8 crystals, and it goes 1 through 8. There is a little white box near each one where you could probably pencil in or write the channel numbers. This one has the Dymo label maker that has the channels on it. So on your 8-channel selector, how is it that you know where channel 11 is? Either you've memorized it's in number 3 or wherever it's at, or you have some markings that tell you over.
Yeah, I remember the old the stamp number thing, the little, what was those things called? It was a circular thing where you can stamp out numbers and then peel off the end and stick them on there. That's what I have on here, except for actually channel 7 is written in, channel 19. But here's what I have. I have channel 2, channel 9. Of course, I got to have the emergency frequency on CB. Oh, never mind, I'm laughing. And then channel 3 is 10, channel 10, and channel 11, 27085. Channel 13, channel 16, channel 19 on 7, and channel 21. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
Oh, coolness. You've got the full complement. Yeah, 11 was usually on multi-channel radios because that was a call channel. 9 was usually on because that was the React emergency channel or whatever it was before it was React. 12 and 13 were popular because I think they were those channels designated for you in theory in the early days could talk to other station licenses. It wasn't, you didn't have to go KEO 8492 base to unit 1. You could talk to a different station license up on those. And then the lower numbers like 2 are always in there. I rarely see any that have 23 or 22, so that's interesting, and it looks like you got all 8 channels, so good deal. Our second radio tonight, the Sonar Model E, it just has great audio. If you get a chance to listen to the replay, you will be pleased for sure. Thanks for bringing it by tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network. There are Sonar fans. There is a Facebook page for the Sonars. I hope they are listening in, or someone tells them to watch the video and listen to your radio. Thanks for bringing it by.
Thanks a lot, Dennis. And by the way, Paul's radio was louder than you. I don't know. Maybe you dropped down when he went to the radio check-ins thing. But anyway, thanks for checking it in.
Hey, thanks for bringing it by. I noticed a lot of radios are louder than me, and sometimes when I hear them back on the playback, it's like, how can the microphone is right here. It goes directly out, and yet the station's beaconing through are louder. But that's the way it's supposed to be. This is the Old Tube Radio Network, and the Old Tube Radios are the stars of the proverbial show, or the network, if you will. Radio 2, the Sonar Model E. Thanks for that. Let's head over, stepping up into the air chair right now. 60. Hello, Joe. Tell us about radio number 3 here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Over.
Thank you, Dennis, and I will. I'm checking in my Johnson Messenger 223. A little radio that I'm kind of really liking day after day. Anyway, this is on a stock ceramic mic, and beautiful meters in the front. A nice 4x4 meter. And again, I was messing with the squelch, trying to get the radio to come on, but it's the squelch is the on and off switch, and the volume is on the right-hand side. Kind of a mix-up on the dials, but this is it.
This is it. Start the show, and there is, I found in the Rolodex, the radio on which you are talking, the Messenger 223, without the modulation light. This one isn't. I'll go to the other picture because this one isn't turned on with the beaconing lights. I think the other one is, so we'll get in and out. But a very clean-looking radio with the 2 knobs, and yeah, it's the standard Johnson Viking 2, where the squelch and volume are sort of, they're missing a knob somewhere. And so you got to be careful. I have done the same thing with my Viking Messenger 1. And then all of a sudden, it comes on and it's super loud. But then, it's a mixed blessing because then you think, oh, great, the radio isn't broken. And indeed, yours is not. Is it sounding great? Take another transmission.
Thank you much, Dennis. And we are working on that Johnson microphone. We still have not found an element for it. I imagine I'll probably be looking for an element that's high impedance. I don't want, because it's not battery operated, it's a stock mic. And I can't imagine talking into the stock mic if it were non-powered. You'd have to get right on top of it. So we're still looking for the microphone, not the microphone, but the element. I have the Johnson original mic to this radio, and we're still hunting.
Okay, well, you might be surprised. The audio, on the Johnsons it's pretty decent. It's the same, same audio they had on the first two radios. I switched to the picture that shows actually the Johnson desk mic, the one you're looking for, the Element 4. It's got the modulation light, and this one is on. You can see that the whole front end, or the front part, is illuminated along with the S meter, so it makes it easy to see what you're doing. And sounding good. So yeah, don't discount the quality of the microphone you got there, but I know what you mean. It'd be nice to actually have the one that says JOHNSON on the front, and it will look good. And yeah, DD21 says Dymo, the Dymo label maker. I don't think there is no need for a Dymo label maker on that thing, unless they put, it's got somebody's call letters on it, because it does have all 23 channels ready to go. So Radio 3 is sounding good at 9:17. We'll go back to you for a transmission. And as always, we are glad it is included in our list for the 6th of February, 2021. Over.
Well, thank you much, Dennis. It's definitely my pleasure to check in this Johnson Messenger. Okay, we'll let the channel rock. Thanks much.
37.
All right, and the channel is going to rock and roll with radio number 4 at 9:21. Are they Jingle Singers? Okay, Jingle Singers say they're not ready. So let's head on over to radio number 4. Hello, Chris. Over.
Hello, Dennis. Hello. This is SWL 37. God, this thing is swinging tonight. We would like to check in our general radio telephone, the Super MC11A, a handheld stock microphone, that 23 channel tube that glows in the dark with a little man in a wheelchair in his IV rack hanging next to him. But this is all she's got, and this is it. And hope it's getting out fine. Hello.
Yeah, it's getting out perfect. And I have to keep reminding myself, there's nothing you can turn down. That's the stock microphone. That's the little teardrop shaped whatever came with the radio, making all that sound. Doing a good job. We had its other brother, the Super MC12, and in theory they actually made some improvements. I don't know what it is they could improve with the MC12, but at least this one was still type accepted by the FCC, and there's still a few of them around. The MC12 is a little on the rare side, as this one is getting, but still very great audio. And I think like the 12, this has the ability to be with the octal plug and back. You put it in there, and it straps, quote unquote, it straps the radio out for another, I don't know, 3 or 4 watts up to about 15 or 16, but it doesn't quite have that same audio. I think we tried that one time. Anyway, you're good. Take a transmission.
Okay, well, I put it this way. Let's see what this thing doing. It's dead keying at 5 watts, and it's swinging almost 20 on PEP.
On PEP, yeah, because you're well into the 100% modulation, and it's probably good asymmetrical modulation. So it's 4 times your power there, and 20 watts would be a good thing. It is doing what it should here on channel 11.
Okay, now this without the PE reading is going from 5 to 10.
Yeah, it's got good, strong forward modulation. In fact, you could use that radio late at night, and you wouldn't have to talk very loud at all.
This has been a good, sweet radio. It's done really good since I cleaned it up here a couple months back.
Did you take the feather duster to it?
Yes, I did, and I took the spray cleaner to spray around all the crystals and clean them all out and brush them off, and it works better.
And that is not a hard thing to do, assuming the radio's been off and you're not touching any charged capacitors, but just pulling gently and safely pulling the tubes out of the socket and reseating them and, like I said, cleaning up switches and things like that. If the capacitors are all in good shape, you don't see any leaking or stuff like that, or smell any of the, why is that resistor? I can't read the color code. It's all black. And anything like that, of course, it's like anything. It's like your dog, right? You scratch its tummy and it will work.
When I did it, I pulled each tube out one at a time, cleaned it all off, cleaned all around where it plugged in, put it back in. Pulled another tube, did the same thing, all 9 tubes or whatever. Yeah, I think 9 tubes, and pulled them out each one at a time. I wiped them down without a chemical, for I didn't want to erase the numbers off of them, and then plugged them all back in. And then I wiped down the somewhat of what I could of the chassis where everything plugs in. For I didn't want to use no chemical on there, for I did not want to erase any numbers there that says what is what, So I did it very cautiously.
And that's the way to do it. I have read the horror stories of the guys that use on the older receivers where they have the glass in the front. Actually, not plastic, but it's glass with the bands and the numbers and all the gradients there. And they take the Windex and they take one wipe and they look at the cloth, and there are the numbers on the cloth and no longer on the glass. Some people use simple green, just water. Like I said, do it carefully. I did that once on one of those Radio Shack. It was the Sangean portable radios. It's the black, but it's black paint on the front. And I thought, let me wipe this down. And all of a sudden it's like, well, it's silver. It never used to be silver. And of course there's the black paint on the stuff. So at least it didn't take off numbers. But you are, that is a smart thing to do, to be very careful. As I always say, test it on some inconspicuous spot and then go for it. Radio number 4, the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. That is a 9-tube transmitter, believe it or not. You can find out more about it at Sam's CB22. That's the book 22, page 45. It's 24 channels, so it does have the Civil Air Patrol somewhere on the dial selector. And let's see, 12AX7 in the audio and the ECLL800 for the modulator output. And it sounds like this. Thanks for bringing it by.
You betcha, Dennis, and thank you for being there. And now I'm going to turn this one off, and I'm going to reach back up here and turn this back on above it.
Good deal. And flip the coax switch. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Jingle singers are ready to go in the green room tonight, where everybody is having a great time. Hope you can join us with your tube radios.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. Your favorite slot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
And we are listening and standing by tonight for, what is it, radio number 5. And I hear Paul in there at 928. Can you hear me, Paul? Over.
Yes. Actually, the noise is down a little bit, I believe. Anyway, I'm going to check in my general radio telephone, MC7.
All right, we'll keep in the general radio telephone file, which I have in front of me, and we'll find, if I get the right picture, we'll find the MC7. This one has some different audio. It's not quite as loud as your other general radio telephones, but it's beaconing away. Let me see. Maybe I don't have I thought for sure I had a picture of an MC7. I've got an MC7 ad. Maybe we'll play that here, but let me try. Yeah, I got one. So we'll go to the radio first, and then we'll jump into the advertisement. Back to you.
Yeah, that's it. Real plain front. I like the front of the thing. It's just basic. And this microphone is probably, to tell you the biggest thing about it, is carbon light. So I haven't banged it up and down for a while, so maybe I'll put a little ammo into it. If it's not fair. It seems like it's doing fair, not nothing like the other one, but it's doing fair. It's a kind of an EO radio. This is most of the tramp-type modulator on this thing, and they would not accept any other microphone in this thing. And I haven't tried to wire any other microphone into this thing other than the microphone with it, so I'm going to have to try that, see if I can get some more modulation out of it. Is it down pretty bad? Back to you.
Yeah, compared to most of the generals we hear, it's probably down about 40 or 50%. It's a little muffly, but I'm copying you 100%, no problem at all. You said it's the carbon microphone, so yeah, it could have some of the elements, carbon elements all stuck together. I'm changing the video to the ad where they actually tout the prices, $199.50. Complete with microphone, 110-volt AC cord, 1 receive transmit crystal, channel 11, we like that, and an instruction manual. Well, I see the turret tuner, so okay, it's got. I saw the 23-channel dial, and it sort of fooled me that it would have all 23 channels. So in theory, you've got to open that thing up and slide a crystal in the tuner socket somewhere. Over.
They changed quite a bit on these things, and every one that they were coming up with always had a little extra duty on the thing. It's interesting radio that had that tuner in the thing. It drops the size of the crystal way down. It makes a difference, of course, but if they did it, make more room for them. That's interesting radio, and appreciate you checking it in.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it by. I'm looking at some of the... If I can see 9 tubes, including compactrons and new Vistors, give 13 tube performance, 100% modulation. When it's modulating the thing, it will do 6 volt, 12 volt, and 15 volt operation. And this came out in, not sure, 64, 65, so they were still supporting the 6 volt radios, 25 watt construction, whatever that means. And the advertisement goes like this. Once again, General has produced a new and original design which is destined to set the pace for the radio industry. The new MC7 is the first 24-channel unit offered to the citizen band public. This unit is the result of 2 years of development and has proven to be the most effective, efficient transceiver yet designed for citizen band use. Move into the professional category in citizen band communications. See the MC7 at your General dealers today. You'll be glad you did, and we're glad you brought it by. Over.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Nice sounds. I'm pretty hardly wait to look at it. I'll tell you that. It's interesting. So, like I say, thanks again for checking it in.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it by. The audio is low, and I have a feeling, and I think you guessed it, that it's probably due to the microphonium just not putting enough smoke into the front end of that radio, but it is keying up just fine, and I'm hearing you 100% on the General Radio Telephone MC7. Thanks.
Thanks to you. I'll get to working on this thing right away when I hear it, I'm sure. Thank you again.
You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. We are listening for radio number 6. Hey, step on up. I'm ready to dial in radio number 6. Hello, over.
Thank you much, Dennis. I want to...
Well, hopefully that's a temporary unkey.
Mike, in a little something about all my pretty lights.
Oh, okay. I think you stopped transmitting. Give me a very short transmission to let me know you are hearing me over.
Okay. Maybe I was too hard on the key.
All right, that was good. Yeah, I missed probably most of that transmission, and I do not know what radio you are on. It makes a little chirp when it keys up. I don't know if you can hear that or not. I don't think that's a problem. So give us another transmission. Let me know what the radio is again, and just keep an eye on the wiggle meters in case it unkeys on you or something. But it's sounding good now. Over.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I was a little hard on the old trigger here on the lollipop. This is my 11.2 Robin 123B, my modified Robin, I should say, with 10 extra channels on a D104 lollipop.
A 100% transmission that time. We've got a nice picture of the green Robin, courtesy of Chris Callahan, it says. Showing on channel 14. Yours, of course, is on channel 11. Just trying to think, what you've got PA, mod, and external speaker, TX and RX. Yeah, I guess as long as that TX light is nice and solid and the mod light is blinking, it's doing its thing when you've got the key down. Over.
That's right. And doggone it, the text light on top of the RX light comes on real nice. The modulation light works good. The buttons are push button for the PA. External speaker, everything works really nice on it.
Sounds good on this one. The Panasonic chassis. There's some people trying to count the number of different radio models that use that same chassis, and I think they're into double digits. This is one of them, the Robin T123B, and Robin seemed to get the more deluxe front end on that with the external speakers and the RF gain and the fine tune and the range expand, as well as some other things, and doing a good job. I don't know if you can hear it. It's got a little, I'll call it a chirp. I can't call it a ping, although it's doing like an eagle ping when you first key up. Can you hear that at all?
It's slight. I can't really hear it. But other than that, the squelch, you pull it, it is a tone button. You pull it, it changes you, and it gives you a higher pitch when I push it in. And doggone it, no, but I can't hear that chirp.
All right, I'll just say it. It's kind of cute, I guess. And it definitely puts a little stamp that's your radio keying down. If you listen to the replay, you'll definitely hear it. So like it goes into oscillation to decide that it's not going to completely oscillate, and then your audio comes in and it's good. It's the Rockin' Robin for radio number 6.
Oh, we appreciate it. And like I said, it is modified. It has a couple of little switches, one run above the TX and one right next to the external speaker. There's 2 little switches that allow... I see what it is now.
Yeah, it dropped. The audio, actually everything dropped out. The audio and the signal, but you're back. Over.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of get a little hard on the button here on the D104. Hey, okay, thanks for letting me check it in.
All right, thanks for bringing it by. And Mitch, who is always hanging out in the OTR history library, studying stuff, and he says the Panasonic chassis count is currently at 37. I think I saw the post with you and Greg, and it was up to, like 11 or 12. That's a lot. That's a lot of radios, 37. So in one form or another, spanning 5 different generations of chassis. Well, this is, I don't know, the earlier or the middle version. I guess it would be the middle version because they haven't gotten into the 40 channels yet, although it has had to change had to synthesize crystals, or I don't know if they went to the PLL chip. Brian is in the mighty KUH. In the, probably got the tube radios on, warming up the shack tonight, staying up late. Are you doing the AM rally? Does the Drake, do you have a Drake? I don't know. Do those do AM? I thought they did like a controlled carrier AM or something like that. But there's the, speaking of that, let me bring up the HF radio here for a second. See, and I'm not even hearing them. There you go.
What? I've got a 4B32 modulator.
There's somebody at 3875 talking about their plate modulation.
It's right on the edge. Right on the edge. Well, no, John, I'm not going to hold it. I heard another station earlier. I wanted to say hello to, it could be Daryl, AFL. I could be wrong, but I think I heard Daryl. I want to say hi to him.
So that's some good old AM on 80 meters tonight, 3875 for the AM rally. We do an AM rally here every week on the L-Tube Radio Network. And we are listening for Radio 7.
25.
Hello, 25. Over.
Well, I think, I guess it was one of those XTL things. But anyway, I was on VFO and must have been off. Anyway, 25, I'd like to check in another sonar, if that's okay, Dennis.
It is okay. There are definitely many fans of the Sonar radios, and I am ready to look through the Rolodex and find out which one it might be.
Alrighty. Well, anyway, it's a Sonar Model G, very similar to the Model E that I just checked in, except that it does not have the speaker on the front end, and in place of the speaker, it has the needle. And it's working, it bouncing all over the place. Other than that, same thing, cluster control, 8-channel, and then the issue is, when I called you initially, I was on the tune, I was on the VFO, and I guess it was a little bit off, so now it's strictly crystal control. Anyway, back to you, talking on the big old fat Sonar handheld microphone. Anyway, back to you, Dennis.
Sonar Model G, and I have a picture of that microphone in which we'll put up. The piece of toast, I think, is either JT or Crazy Bob calls it. And I was going to ask you about that before when I had the other picture. There's the tuning channel, the click stop 1 through 8 that gets you right on, of course, to the crystals. And then there's the tuning knob. And for a tuning knob, it's sort of vague to me. It's 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, and I'm assuming it may be vernier. I'm looking for the right word, where if you turn it a little bit, that little pointer just doesn't go really fast. It might be geared down. It seems like it'd be kind of difficult to tune things in, or like you said, maybe easy to go past where you need to go. I see this one has the spot switch. So that's the main thing. You got to find your transmit channel, turn on that spot, and then rotate that tuning knob around. But you've done it correctly because I hear you and you hear me over.
Yeah, well, that's another big difference between the Model E and the Model G. This one, it does have the spot button. So if you do want to go to spot it in on the VFO side, you can tune it in. But this is strictly crystal controlled. And by the way, it is the same thing that somebody had taken that little rotating press thing and made the numbers, the stick-on numbers. And we have channel 19, channel 1, of course, the emergency, this is, wait a minute, yeah, the emergency channel 9, of course, channel 11, channel 13, channel 14, channel 16, channel 23. Interesting that none of my sonars have channel 17 or 19. Actually, this one does have 19. Never mind. But channel 17 is not in there, which is the local, used to be the local truckers' station. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to get back to you.
That's good. So it's okay on AM radio. It's okay to take an old buzzard transmission, especially on the old tube radio network. Good night to Smarty Jones out there in New York. I see there's a snowflake, so maybe there is some snow falling in the early morning. Here's the picture if you've got the video. If you don't, the sonar, the stock sonar microphone with, unlike, I think the one we saw on the Robin, it has the very little small element. This has got the big wide mic element. And I don't know if that's, I've never pulled one apart to know if the element is actually the size of the this fills up all the holes there. But that's the one they say it looks like you're talking into a piece of toast. But it works good. The radios are always loud, so they certainly knew what they were doing with the Model Gs. These originally sold for about $229.50, so probably a little on the high side for radios, assuming at this time you could probably get them for $99, but they're only going to have one channel and no S meter. But it's a good radio. Sonar was always good in the audio department and good quality radios, and here they are 50, 60 years later, still going strong. Back to you. Thanks for bringing by Radio 7.
And thank you for your 35 years of putting on the old tube radio network. That's greatly appreciated. And anyway, back to you.
And Jerry, that radio sounds good over here.
Yeah, it does. Me and a whole bunch of other people. And like I said, we wouldn't have OTR if it wasn't for, you know what, there's something in my pocket. if it wasn't for all our stations that take time out of their Saturday. I just found something in this pocket of this jacket here. What is it? It is a tag. It is a ticket, half a ticket stub. University Theater presents Championship Theater from the rights here. Okay, so this is, I can't believe I wore this jacket for something. Okay, it was a play over at Fresno State University. It was $8, and it is on Friday, 8th, December 13, 1991. There it is. That's sitting in the pocket. I had no idea. So that must mean I ordered this jacket. I wonder if it was a piece where this jacket would have been 91. That was 20 years? Oh, no, 30 years ago. That's hilarious, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the Old Tube Radio Network is standing by, and we were looking for radio number 8.
Yeah, that was 30 years.
I better put it back in the pocket. All right.
For another 31 years.
Yeah, and your audio is super low. However, the jingle singers, where are you, jingle singers? Get me out of this mess here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're listening in the latest style.
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
Looking for radio number 8.
Is that better, Dennis?
Sounding bueno. Over. And I have refreshed my screen, and Wildemar is on the list. Hello, Richard. Checking in SWL 78. I hear the guys on 75 meters tonight for the AM rally. But I don't hear any carriers right now. But we're doing our AM rally right here in Central California, looking for radio number 9. Or radio number 8. Let's take that one first. Hey, Paul, you are staying up late tonight, and that is good for us and all the SWLs. Tell us what you've got. Over.
Okay. This is pretty tired, as you can see. It's not doing a real good job. This ICM Executive CTZ-50 at the International Crystal Manufacturer.
All right, I will find that. I've got an ICM and an International Crystal manufacturer. So let me go into the Rolodex here. And it's sounding good. It is actually louder than the General Radio Telephone MC7, and the signal is good. Well, I found a picture. I'll put this one up. It's pretty. I wonder if yours looks better than this one. And I don't know if that's the only shot I have or not. Back to you. Over.
Notice the cord going around to the back of the radio. That's the mic cord. That's the first radio, the only one I've ever seen that would put the microphone in the back of the radio. Never could figure it out. He had a reason. It's one of the first ones they had. Then a VFO thing, which is pretty neat, but you don't have a meter to really adjust the VFO. You do it by your ears, and with my ears, that's pretty rough. So, anyway, it's a neat old radio. By the way, that was an ugly one. Mine's a pretty one.
Yeah, I apologize for this picture because that seems to be what's in the Rolodex file, and at least we can see the microphonium in the back. This looks like, is it the Electro Voice or the microphone that they use? They call it the banana style mic, but the style that they use with the Browning is the one we're showing here. You probably have something different. And unlike the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223 and the Sonars, this looks like it has a really dinky speaker in the front, so hopefully you're hearing me okay.
Well, this is a neat old radio out there. I got this from Rob. It swapped me a number of years back, and I got a lot of radios from Rob. Anyway, I'm ready to talk to the microphone, the International Crystal banana-type microphone made by Electro Voice. That's the radio, and I'm not going to change it. I've got a, not a manufacturer, but another microphone that I could put on here. But, this is the original thing, so it sounds a little weak. That's what I like to hear. Thanks,
It's good. It does sound, it sounds better than the MC7, tonight. It's got a good signal. It's putting out some good wattage, and it's moving the meter around like it should, so not a bad thing at all. It's the ICM, or the International Crystal Manufacturers Executive CTZ-50. They made International Crystal made a lot of radios, in that same kind of style where they move things around. I'm not sure what the advantages were, but this is one of them. And even though I know it looks better than the one we're showing, it's doing a good job tonight for radio number 8. Thanks for bringing it by.
You're welcome. I wish they were still a minute. Enjoy getting crystals from them. Okay. Thanks again, Dennis.
Yeah, you mentioned that they, what was it, last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they just closed their shop. So they were in business all this time and just closed down. So like I said, it's a shame because they were a good supplier. And the break OTR, you caught me doing my paperwork here, getting Radio 8 put in the log, and there it is. Take a transmission, over.
Good evening, Dennis, and to all the SWLs out there. I'd like to get a check-in for SWL 17.
All right, I've switched to the SWL page, and right at the top of the page there, SWL 17 says you're checked in. So regardless of if I don't put it on the X, it's in the files forever here on the 6th day of February. I hope all is going well out at the QTH. You're sounding good.
Thank you, Dennis, and looking forward to hearing some of these tube radios.
Yeah, in fact, I went to the archives here. I think I've got one for the archives. And I was thinking about you. They're, as you know, they're doing the, I call them the flyovers, but the Fresno National Guard was, I guess, chosen to be the staging area for all the stuff going on. So it's been a little bit noisy up in the air, but that's not a bad thing.
No, they got to get their training in.
Doing a good job. All right, I do have, okay, and let's go to the archives. I have an old radio archive, and I'm not sure, I'm looking to see when this is from. I think it's from 2015. Let me switch over to the other camera here. That's not what I want. I want this. So here is from the archives, and I'll just start it because I'm not exactly sure what we've got. The Old Tube Radio Network.
Break OTR.
And the Break OTR, go ahead, please.
Okay, this is SWO40 checking in on a Lafayette Comstat 25B CB Tube CB radio. Oh, very good. Yes, it looks like it's operating very nicely and warmly, and it's definitely warming up the old hand on the radio there. Yes, nice and comfy. You know, too bad you can't take these out. It's too bad they're not lightweight for camping, you know, because it would provide a lot of warmth, almost as much as the campfire. Roger.
Wonder how the receive is. How does the receive on that Lafayette stack up?
It's very sensitive. In fact, to understand what you're saying, I have to tune. I guess it's a delta tune. I have to tune it off of you, because if I tune it onto you, the meter pegs out and your voice kind of quiets down and gets distorted. But weaker stations, stations further out, they come in much clearer when I turn the tuning over to them. And so I think it's kind of getting a little too much signal from you for some reason.
Okay, yeah, sounds like there may be an AGC or an AVC circuit. And there they go, fading away. So that is from 2014, Larry, on the Comstat, what did he say, Comstat 25B. From long ago. I wonder if he remembers having that radio, and I think that is, as Mitch was talking about, one of the, if it wasn't a Panasonic chassis, I think it was probably one of the clones of that, the 25A, or the 25, the 25A, the 25B. Some of them had, early ones had actually the 25, or the 22A and B crystals in there as well. So another one of the Lafayette sounding good from our archives. We are looking for radio, and now I think we're looking for radio number 9. And the Comstat 25B is the 11-tube Gen 2 Panasonic, which I think is the one we heard for the Robin. The Break OTR, back in the radio room so soon. Go ahead.
Well, I just wondered if you and some of the other hams out there might notice that there's an AM roundup on HF this weekend.
Yes, it's the, what do they call it? The AM Rally. I believe it is an annual event that takes place on this weekend. All right, and now that you're talking about it, let me just see if I can get, because we're almost out of time here, about the AM Rally. Thank you, Eric, for the reminder. The purpose of this event is to encourage the use of amplitude modulation on the 160, 80, 40, 20, 15, 10, and 6-meter amateur radio bands. And we'll say the 11-meter amateur radio band, which isn't an amateur radio band anymore, but it was. That's where we're doing our part tonight. And to highlight various types of AM equipment in use today, which is what we've been doing for 36 years. This event is open to any and all radio amateurs who are running full carrier amplitude modulation standard AM. using any type of radio equipment, modern vintage tube transistor, software-defined military, boat anchor, broadcast, homebrew, or commercially available radio are all welcome to join in the AM fun. And let's see if I've got a current page, and it says it's running from February 5th through Sunday. Wait a minute, no. You know what? I think this is maybe an old... No, it's just 2021. So anyway, it's running through Sunday night, the 7th, February 5th through the 8th. So it's actually running tomorrow night. It's running tonight, tomorrow night, and looks like Monday night as well on the AM rally. Let me see what's happened here. If this is this turned on? No, I got to turn up something here for this to work. All right, anyway, let me unkey, but that is what's going on your YAM radios tonight, anywhere or tomorrow. So if you've got the capabilities, get on the air.
If it started today, that might have been why I didn't hear anything last night.
Yeah, I was looking at the thing. It looks like the 5th through the 8th. So it started late, probably, or late last night, and it's running all the night. In fact, I've got the HF radio up here in the background. We're in the AM mode. I was hearing the East Coast guys. There's a station right there, but it's weak. But the thing to do would be to get on one of the, if you don't have the equipment, get on one of the SDR radios and tune in probably right now at 3870 through 3890, 3.890 in the 75-meter band, and you will probably hear some good stuff in the AM mode once we sign off the air, because the best stuff is right here on the Old Tube Radio Network. And actually, they do have is categories, and I guess they give out a prize. There is, I'm reading about this, categories. And you log in, you keep a log. Looks like they give out little plaques, and the rig categories are vacuum tube commercially made. So that would be, that would be what we do here. Vacuum tube commercially made, vacuum tube homemade. I'm sure we may have had a couple of homemade radios check in. Solid state commercially made, and remember, this is the AM mode. Solid state homemade, hybrid commercially made. We've had some of the hybrid radios check in, like the FT102, the FT101, I'm even going to call the Mark IV Browning's probably a hybrid. Hybrid homemade, converted AM broadcast. Yes, indeed, some people are running the converted 500-watt, 1,000-watt, 5,000-watt AM broadcast stations that are the size of a Sub-Zero refrigerator. Military gear like the BC610, and software-based defined SDR radio, which amazingly can sound like a tube radio. So the AM rally going on right now. Counting and mounting coming up, and still looking for Radio 9 if you're out there while we're waiting.
All right, I'll bite at that one.
And I'll be after.
Okay, let me do some paperwork. Radio 9 is Mike. Radio 10 is Harvey, who I see stepping down into the green room. There's some good stuff. Try out the dessert stuff, Harvey. So we are at what are we at? 10:03. I wanted to say, SWL72 is checking in. So let me get that up on the board. Radio Boy is checking in. And Gunter is back, says the bands here are even more dead than here, or is it just that people are having their power nap? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. We were expecting some skip to come in here tonight. And Keith says, I tell people, even if you were using a rights box to get on AM, it's okay. Just get on and have fun. That's exactly it. In fact, I may try with this rig here. I don't have an amp. My amps are not working. So I'm lucky when somebody can hear my 35 watts, which they did. I talked to somebody the other day. What was it? Let me check out. Yeah, I do keep a log. Let me check out the logbook here. It was an AMO Steve, N5YRJ, Mission Viejo. We were on 7293, and he was comping me at 35 watts on the rice box. All right, let me go to radio number 9. Hello, Mike. Over.
Well, greetings from the Radio Lounge, but I have to say I feel absolutely uncomfortable hogging the spotlight, and I don't know if this has ever been done in the show, but I have to, again, just kind of humbly relinquish my spot here, and I want to hand it over to 20, because just out of honor for Mr. Harvey there. Do people switch spots in line?
You can. You're still going to be Radio 9 because I wrote you in, but we'll jump over. It's like skipping up in line. We'll jump over to Radio 10 and see what Harvey's got. I'm reading some history from 23 here. 22A and 22B were the help channels installed. Yeah, which turned out to be channels 24 and 25. They're in between 22 and 23. I always wanted to get 22B. My Navajo had 22A, so I was always jealous when somebody said they're going to the other channel, and I couldn't follow them. Harvey, are you listening? This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Over.
Roger, I'm listening. So I'm going to be number 10. Well, if I had my coax switch installed, I could be 10, 11, whatever, but I don't. And I'm too lazy to unplug and plug another one in.
Well, this is the too lazy frequency, but we have you on now, so one is good enough. I even tried to buy some coax switches from, was it Gigaparts? It was I was going to pop for the really nice Alpha Delta 4-position switches, and I even ordered them. Everything was fine. Then they come back and say, "Oh, by the way, they're out of stock. We can't get them, and here's your money back." Because I wanted to get rid of the MFJ, so I have to get you one of those cool switches, or maybe just an MFJ. Take a transmission, Harvey. Tell us what you got. Over.
Okay. This time I went with the Browning R68T68 model with the 3-position RF AGC switch on the receiver and the on-air light on the transmitter. And I'm going to end the unamped D104 with the Browning medallion on the back. And I'll talk for a little bit. That way Mike can be number 9, and hook another one up and be number 11. Last week I said I'd get some Browning paperwork out. The Browning T2700 transmitter with the power supply in it back in 61, $65. $65. I like that. Then they also came out with the T2700F without the power supply, and you were supposed to buy that one with the R2700 or 100A receiver. Now they listed as a R2700 receiver, and with a special package you could get them both for $189, which I thought was pretty good. However, if you could show that you had already purchased an R2700 receiver, you could get the T2700F for $40 instead of having to buy the whole package. If you showed you had the receiver with a receipt or something, you could pay $40 for the transmitter. And these transmitters, I believe, it says comes with a model 715 Century ceramic mic with desk stand. That's the Electro Voice waffle front square mic, and they did come with a stand that you could set them in. So no banana mic.
Well, you know, you're getting the discount. I can't even believe that it is possible, or would have been possible to ever get a Browning radio for under $200.
Well, back in 1960, 61, you can get a combo for $189. I have to find the price for a separate receiver, but I don't think I have that handy. No, I don't. But the T2700 transmitter with the power supply in it, $65, $189. Oh, wait. I have a price list. Where'd that go? Come here. I've got that handy somewhere. I got to flip to the right page. Too many pages. But I have a page that has a pricing list from back in the 60s, so if I can find it. I'll unkey, let Mike key up, see if I can find that list.
Okay, this is the Find the List frequency, Radio 10, the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68, heard just seconds ago. And maybe when you come back, maybe you'll be on Radio 11. Let me go back to the... Where is the control room here? Let me go back to the control room shots, and we will back up to Radio 9, which we never really did find out what Radio 9 is. We know who has Radio 9, but we don't know what it is. So Michael's going to take a transmission. Also want to check in X4000, who is, are we going to have, I don't know. I don't know if we will hear X4000 again tonight or not in the jingle mode. I'm not sure. But anyway, 47, take a transmission and tell us what's happening with the official Radio 9 over.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, thank you. It feels nice to pay, someone respect who is obviously due quite a bit of respect. So thanks for letting me allow the privilege of allowing him go first. So from the radio lounge, we got a Robin, 123. I was tempted to do some grilled cheese sandwich on the top of this thing. Because it is my hottest operating radio. I still don't know why. It's been said it's the Panasonic chassis, whatever. I don't know if the Panasonic chassis had, like a 100-watt incandescent light bulb in there, or what. But it's certainly warm. But it's, again, a 123B, no match guide tube, unfortunately. But it is my prettiest radio in the radio lounge.
It is a very pretty radio in the lounge. It's working. It's beaconing. It is, I think, the number 2. Mitch knows. I think he said that was the kind of 2 in the series of the Panasonic chassis. Audio is good as always. It's always a good radio at the end. You're nice and mellow with the audio, and then the generals are just loud. This is sort of like that jingle that the jingle singers do when they say "stay modern" or whatever it is. It sort of lets us know that, like many of our listeners who are staying up really late in the Sunday morning here, early Sunday morning saying that, we got to drop out. They appreciate this radio and how you operate it. Radio 9, the Robin T123B, and you are not the only one that says you could cook a steak on the top of that.
Yeah, if it wasn't last week, it was the week prior to that, though. I heard someone else make that particular comment. I would be very curious, and Harvey, hopefully, well, I'm sure you're still listening. I almost got, this past week, I almost got real serious about getting an amplified 104 on this thing. I know that through your wonderful skills that you've got, you've made a comment that just by listening to the radio, that you were under the assumption that this thing had been set up and tuned up for an amplified mic, which I don't have right now. I'm on the unamplified, what I imagine would be the stock mic. It's pretty fun to use. It fits reasonably well in your hand. I'm obviously keeping it keyed down for quite a bit, and it doesn't hurt. I guess it's just kind of ergonomically correct. Say that 10 times fast. But nonetheless, this past week I got really curious to try and investigate purchasing a D104 that would be wired for this particular radio. As Ed has been so kind to point out on numerous times, you don't want to use a microphone that you got wired up to your plain old 123 on this 123B. Bad things apparently will happen, but at some point in time I ought to do that, and I've been very curious. I've spent this entire last week being very curious as to what the sound difference would be. I've heard you describe the audio on this radio. When I have the range expand off versus on. And that just it kind of piques my curiosity. I wonder what this would sound like, in its current setting, with the unamplified mic versus an amplified D104. I'm very curious as to what the difference in audio would be, but maybe we'll find out sooner, hopefully, rather than later.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what sounds better, whether you can crank the mic and forget the range expand or leave the range expand on, because that radio is really set. I think it was set for a really powerful microphone that needs lots of audio, so you might be able to find you can turn the mic down, still run the range expand and sound good tone-wise, or kill the range expand and let the microphone do it. So that's what we will test if and when you do that on this Robin T123B, one of 4 Panasonics to feature the mic gain. Actually, I don't even know if it doesn't have a mic gain. It's got the range expand. So I'm not sure. Mitch is saying that it's got a mic gain control. I didn't think it had a mic gain control on that. We will see. But it's doing a good job. I have a feeling... Go back to you for another transmission. I have a feeling Harvey is probably ready with Radio 11 if he's got it too. So we'll see what happens. But back to you on the Robin. Over.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for letting me check it in. I appreciate it. You just made a comment about the range expand. So it's on right now.
And right now it's off. And boy, you really got to scream into this thing to make the modulation lamp sort of illuminate
itself. But then you turn it back on, and magically it, barely does much more. But hopefully you can hear me at least a little bit better. So SWL 20, I'm going to give you a homework assignment. If you want to keep your eye out for some sort of a nice amplified mic for this particular radio, I'd be curious as to what you might have to offer. But all right, on that, I'll send it back to you. Thank you for allowing us to check in these delightful toys. Boy, what a joy it is. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Everyone sounds great in on that 73 from the Radio Lounge.
All right, good deal. Yeah, you almost... You drop a whole bunch of points on the loudness meter, on the Orband loudness meter, when you turn off the range expand. So I bet the amplified microphone will work either way. It's just going to see tone quality, what the sound is, and how far you want to crank it up. And plus, you don't need to talk loud. Let's see. Good night, John, who is saying 10-7 till next Saturday, 128. And let's go over to SWL20. Harvey, did you get the coax changed or whatever it was you were going to do over?
No, I didn't change the coax. I was looking for a price for the R2700 or 100A receiver, $149, I think it said. 149 or 144. Now I'm going to have to look it up again. I'm getting so old here. Can't remember for the next, couple of minutes here. I found the price. And I'm looking again. And where is it? It's right here somewhere. Where's that thing? I had it right here in my hand. I had the brochure that had the price. Oh, right on top. Here you go, dummy. 149 even. So that combo price of 189 makes a lot more sense. If you wanted a transmitter and you already had the receiver, and that transmitter needed the power supply from the receiver, they weren't going to make you buy another receiver to go with it if you already had one. So they were going to let you slide and pay $40. So it'd be like if you bought the combination in the first place. Anyway, that's kind of nice. I think, who is it? Paul mentioned that his CTC 50 from International Crystal had the mic plugged in the back. And he said it's kind of the only one he has, or very few that have them. The Browning S9 came with the banana mic wired from the back left corner of the radio to around to the front. It was wired in. No plug in the back, just wire came out the back. And of course you had the stand. And then there are a couple others that, T2700 and T2700A do not have mic plugs on the front. They don't show mics in the brochure picture, and they do not show the back of the radio, the transmitter. But I'm assuming, which might be a bad thing for me to do, that the mic comes out the back. Where else? But my compact does have the mic plug on the front, left, lower left, and that's the way it shows it in the brochure. It has it in the front. Anyway, that should give Mike enough time to warm up and be number 11.
I think he has one left. I'm not sure. All right, well, good information on that. Radio's sounding good. I want to say 73 to Keith. That's the station we heard on the Crosslink here on the C4 FM. We've been trying to link up for a week and a half. We've never been in the radio room at the same time. So unfortunately, Keith, I don't know. I might be losing that link. You talked to Jeremy, so he gave you all the skinny on what was going on there, but might have to find some other way to do it, and I haven't been able to jump into the one that's near him. But thanks for being persistent and jumping in. That was fun to do that tonight. Another first on on the Old Tube Radio Network on a Wires X jump in. All right, so thanks, Harvey. We've got Radio 9 logged in, Radio 10, your Radio 10 logged in. And let me see if there's anybody else before we jump out of here. As it's getting late, everybody wants to, I guess, get up early and start in on the chips tomorrow for the Super Bowl, or maybe work some AM on the rally. OTR's listening.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, over.
This is SWL 40, checking in from downtown Chinatown.
Hey, good deal. And you actually checked in. You were part of our radio history. We pulled something out of the archives from about 2014. It was you on, what were you on? You were on a Lafayette Comstat 25B. So I don't know if you remember even having that radio, but we did hear you tonight.
Oh, yes, the Lafayette Comstat 25B. Well, I don't have that particular radio anymore, but I do remember using that radio.
Okay, and everybody remembers it because that was the featured one. So good deal. All right, got you checked in. You sound like you're tired, so there's probably all sorts of calamities going on in the basement. Hopefully they are taken care of and you don't have to go back down there.
Well, I was going to check in about 20 minutes ago, but then as I was reaching for the microphone, I heard this screeching tires, and then sirens, and then red and blue lights, and then this great light in the sky shining down on my building here, and someone outside saying stop.
Dennis?
Yeah. Citizens, do not be afraid. Go ahead, Harvey, over.
When you can, after Larry's done, one more.
Okay, let me check back with Larry, and hopefully they're not surrounding the building, and you can go outside.
Yeah. Well, they've turned off their sirens, but the red and I still see red and blue flashing lights outside.
All right. Well, the good thing is it may be under control, and the even better thing is they're not after you. So enjoy your midnight snack there, and we will pick up Radio 11, and then we will get the heck out of here. Hello, Harvey.
Okay. The Browning Compact, I decided to get up out of my chair, and I remembered which piece of coax this one was, because I had to pull it out or unplug it to plug in the other one, so I remembered this one. So here it is, the Browning Compact Transmitter with the ARC2700A receiver. And this is, I guess it would be the second oldest that I have, figuring that paperwork I have says the S9 transmitter came out first, along with the ARC2700 receiver, and then this one and the 2700A receiver shortly after, because people wanted a more reasonably priced transmitter, and I think the S9 was like $159, and these other ones were under $100.
And some of the first radios, they were competing with things that were $99 and kit sets. And, you know, these are $1959, $1960. So you had to be competitive. You had to have people get their feet wet. And it was citizen band, so you couldn't have tons and tons of knobs because that isn't what it was for. It's supposed to be a simple, easy thing to do. So probably a smart way to establish what they needed to do without, you know, breaking the brand. Those watching the video, the kind of blurry box blob on the right side is the compact transmitter. You can tell the channel selector knob in the center, the crystal socket up above that, and the red bozo beacon on the right. And I'll tell you, it sure sounds like any Browning ever did on the inside. So that was a deal for $150, I think.
Hey, Roger. And what's interesting is this one doesn't have the 12BY7 driver. It's got most of the same tubes. It's got a 5763 final, and I believe a 6 EA8 tube. 5763 final, 6BQ5 modulator, 12AX7 mic amp and such, and a 6EA8 oscillator driver type tube. That's what they use in combination. That's kind of why this one is a little puny on the transmit. Of course, I have the little helper on right now because I have to. But anyway, and it's getting its power, its voltage from the receiver, and the receiver transformer isn't as beefy as the other transmitters' transformers. But there's not much you can do. You can't really boost it. You can't really strap it. Although there is something you could do that would beef it up, but you have to do it to the receiver and do a little rewiring. It has to do with the rectifier coming out of the back end of the power transformer in the receiver. It's a half wave, and I've got some paperwork on making it a full wave. And you do that, and actually it boosts a little bit. But then you have to go and change a few resistors in the receiver further back, so you pull down the voltage going to the rest of the radio, and you leave the increased voltage going to the transmitter, then you're okay. Then you get more output.
I guess when you're at 5 watts, sometimes more output can be a good thing. It looks good on the meter, even with the Harvey range boost. You can kind of tell that you're not overstrapped on the carrier, and I think that helps keep the audio in check. And like I said, what it sounds, it may not be as beefy, but it definitely sounds like a Browning radio. And I'm logging that in. Did I log that in? Yes, I logged that in for radio number 11. So it's working good. Good luck on the coax switches and working on that. They're just looking at the comments. I think a lot of people are going to be working on antennas and radio stations here coming up in the next couple of months. So things should be good along with this sunspot cycle happening in. So let me go back to you. We're going to wrap it up here and clear the frequency, see what's going on the AM bands and all that stuff. But glad you were able to jump out in the radio room tonight. Over.
Roger. This is me with it just being the transmitter. Take a few seconds, look over at the wiggle meter there, see if it even wiggles over there, and then I'll just turn it back on, and I can easily see the difference. Swing-wise, I'm about almost the same as with the other radio, but dead key, I'm a bit, quite a bit lower, even with this on, than with this on, than with it on with the other radio, because of the increased carrier of the other one. Back to you.
All right, not, S unit and a half on the meter, but you're well over the noise, and the audio is still good either way. So if you didn't want to heat things up, or you started having that, that uh-oh smell, the radio itself would beacon into the old tube radio just dandy.
Hey, Roger. Well, the little range boost thing in this case has a variable control, and I could have turned it up, but I didn't, because I'm a little, anyway, I'll get back. I should be able to be on the air next week, and then the busy period for me was supposed to end yesterday, but it didn't. I still have another full week to go, looks like. And then hopefully it'll be over for another 5 months, and then I'll be busy again. But and then I'll start doing a little bit more around here. But I won't be putting the antennas up for several months at least. I'll just be dealing with this. But what I might do is put up a 2-meter 440, at least on the roof, mag mount on another metal surface that I can find, and attach it to the mobile that I've got around here somewhere. Okay, take care, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, 73. Sounds like the Radio Shack is coming up nice. It's nice to have it inside. I can sometimes hear you on the HT from the indoors, so anything outside, even if it's a mobile antenna, will work well for doing stuff.
Yeah, sometimes it works, W6OTR.
Yeah, see, there he is on the crossband. Sometimes it's work from the HT, and the jingle singers are ready to do their thing, and we will skedaddle out of here. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
Yeah, not bad, Harvey. You were there, not full quieting, but you never know what a mag mount on the roof can do for you.
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for the current OTR totals.
All right, the current and final OTR totals. Good item tonight. Everybody was sounding good. A good selection of radios. 16 SWLs on page 1, 16 on page 2, 17 on page 3, 21 on page 4 for a total of 70. This is, in theory, the last week of the 8-week roster, so we'll be redoing the SWL roster, choosing a new 00. Thanks, Paul 45, for filling in and doing a great job of getting us started for the last 8 weeks. Radios tonight, there were 11 total. The most heard manufacturer, General Radio Telephone. I think that's the first time this year that the Generals have taken the #1 spot, and I'm sure it will not be the last. Let me go through the list here and see what we have for radios. Started off with Paul on the General Radio Telephone Super MC12, very rare and very loud. Thank you, Paul. The Sonar Model E, also very loud and possibly as rare from SWL25. Thanks, Jerry, for that. Radio 3, Joe was on the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223 tonight, sounding good as always. Still looking for that element for the desk mic. Chris on his old tube radio, the Super MC11A, one of the 3 generals tonight for Radio 4, followed by the General Radio Telephone MC7. We'll keep track on that one, Paul. See if we get a little bit more audio out of it. The signal, the transmitter's doing just fine. And perhaps it's just the microphonium. You never know. The Robin T123B from Joe's Collection Hustler for Radio 6. The Sonar Model G. Sounding nice from Jerry for Radio 7. Radio 8 tonight. Paul on the ICM, the International Crystal Manufacturing Executive CTZ50. Everything's sounding good tonight. Where we do AM every Saturday. It's our AM rally that's been going on here, Channel 11, for quite a long time. There's one going on tonight. We'll see what's happening before we sign out here. Mike, on the Robin T123B, we are anticipating here sometime in 2021 an audio blast from the amplified microphonium on that one. Stay tuned. Radio 10, Harvey on the Browning Golden Eagle R68, T68, followed by his R2700, his 1959-60 station with the tail fins, the R2700 and the compact transmitter tonight. Thanks to all the SWLs, and I will see if there's any comments that we need to comment upon. No, it is late, so thanks for people staying up late. The big football game tomorrow with some teams playing that I don't even know who they are. There's some AM coming through the noise. At 3870, thereabouts. Don't hear the East Coast stations. The AM rally runs all day tomorrow. Frequencies on 40 meters, listen to 7285, 7290. Frequencies on 20 meters, I think it did 21, I'm sorry, on 20 meters would be 14, maybe 265, 285. 15 meters at 21,420, around in that area. Or if the 10-meter band's open, just go up to 2,900, but it'd have to open pretty good to be heard for that. So get on the air anyway. Check out the AM rally. Good night, everybody. The Old Tube Radio Network saying 73. Thanks for listening, and we will be back with your Tube Radios. Oh, also thanks to... I'm taking an old buzzer transmission. Budco Metronics Incorporated, wholesale electronic parts, for sponsoring us tonight from Indianapolis, Indiana. From the archives of the Old Tube Radio Network, 73.
Good night, Dennis, and thanks.
Harvey, are you still on 2 meters? K6VLF here.
Harvey, you still by?
I didn't think I was by, but I don't think that's what you meant. Yeah, go ahead.
They're also calling you on 2 meters.
Harvey, I've got a friend that's got a Robin T123B. Is looking for a board for his Robin, and he can't seem to find one. If you could help me with that, I'll surely appreciate it.
A power cord?
Yes.
Quit squeaking. I hate people who squeak.
I don't know if I'm squeaking. I oiled it. That didn't help. Well, we'll figure something else out. Maybe it's too close to something.
No, it sounds like an oscillation squeak. What kind of lake is it?
I thought, well, let's just let it go because I've had it for so long.
Had them.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Key up with
There you go. Yes, 3 radios. We've got the 11 meter radio.
put your hand on top of the radio.
We've got the 75 meter radio. And we've got the 2 meter radio, all the same time. That is the OTR cacophony for the evening. Good night, everybody, from the old Tube Radio Network. Catch you on the air somewhere.
Sometimes it's an oscillation.
I'll take that as a no. Are the cops still downstairs, Larry?
Yes.
Better than live TV. What's going on?
Or something, but yeah, it sounds more like an oscillator.
K6VLF.
But now that you mentioned it, I can say that...
Yeah, I'm around. I'll be there in a second. KB6GF.
Just thinking about the fact that we're up. Anyway, thanks for joining us. And, Steve's getting ready to head with his wife to head up to their mountain house tomorrow, so they're making a trip up there. We're going to try to catch each other on a Palomar machine. And I don't think these guys have a handheld or anything, but, you know, I've got the 220 machine over here, and that's been working really good. Dave, your neighbor, he gets on that from time to time. I don't know if have you noticed, Dave?